If you've ever run Claude Code with --worktree or watched a subagent spin up in isolation:worktree, you made one assumption. Whatever happens in there, stays in there. Your main checkout, the code you're actually looking at, is untouchable. For 2.5 months, that assumption was only sometimes true. Not one hole, 6 of them. Found, patched, found again somewhere else. Between May and August, the isolation guarantee got broken and rebuilt 6 separate times. The 6th patch shipped 2 days ago. Here's the actual design. A subagent, or a background session, gets its own linked Git worktree. Same repository, its own directory, its own branch. It edits files and runs bash inside that copy. The fence exists so you can let an agent run genuinely destructive commands, a hard reset, a forced checkout, deleting a branch, without that command ever touching the checkout you're staring at. That's the entire value of the feature. Isolation is what makes it safe to hand a subagent commands you wouldn't want it running on your real work, which is exactly why every hole in the fence matters. Escape 1, May 22nd, version 2.149. The sandbox's write allowlist inside a worktree was scoped to the entire main repository root, not just the shared .git folder it was actually meant to guard. An agent working inside its own isolated worktree could still write files into your main checkout. First hole, patched. Escape 2. 6 days later, version 2.154. Subagents running in background sessions could bypass the isolation guard outright and write straight into the shared checkout. This wasn't an edge case slipping through a narrow gap. The guard itself didn't hold for this session type. Second hole, patched. July 7th, version 2.103. Workttree isolated subagents would sometimes, not always, run shell commands in the parent checkout instead of their own worktree. Intermittent is worse than broken because it passes every test that doesn't happen to hit it. 1 week later, July 14th, version 2.110. Subagents running under isolation:worktree could still run Git commands that mutate the main repo checkout directly, not edit a file and let Git pick it up, call Git itself, against the wrong working tree. 2 more holes, 8 days apart. July 20th, version 2.116. This is the one worth remembering. Subagents could route Git around the isolation boundary entirely, using git-c-git-dir, or the git_dir and git_work_tree environment variables. Nothing exotic, just the standard flags Git ships for pointing itself at a different repository. Tell Git which directory to use, and the isolation guard that only watches your current directory has nothing to check. 2 days ago, version 2.122. The changelog line. Workttree isolated sessions and their subagents were still able to run destructive Git commands against the main checkout. Fixed. And this time isolation covers file edits and bash in every session type, not just subagents anymore. Sessions 2. That's the patch that's actually protecting you right now, if you're running the current version. If you're not, you're running whichever of the last 6 fences happened to be standing when you last updated. So, 3 things. Update. If you're not on 2.122 or newer, the isolation you think you have isn't the isolation you're getting. Second, this wasn't one bad release. 6 fixes in 10 weeks is a pattern. Sandbox scope, a missing guard, intermittent redirection, Git mutating commands, environment variable escapes. Different mechanism, same failure. Something inside the worktree finds a way to point at the main checkout. Third, treat isolation as a moving target, not a guarantee. Check your version before you let a subagent run something you wouldn't run yourself. The subagent's video covers isolation modes in full. It's on screen now.